Hey guys, welcome. I'm Jamie the Spirit Coach and I'm here to give you guys a general reading. Please do take what resonates and leave the rest. Welcome, Libra. This message is going to be for you guys, and for this round of our monthly readings, we are looking at your hero's journey. And what I mean when I say that is your highest version of yourself pulls and pushes you to come closer to it, right? Those gut calls that we feel, it's coming from the highest version of ourselves, who I like to call the hero within us. We are our own hero, right? So we're seeing how this hero is initiated inside of you, what it's pushing you to do, whether it be right now, whether it be over the course of your life, whether it's something that happens multiple times over in cycles. We don't know. We look and that's what we find out. So I have pre-shuffled and pulled your cards, Libra, so we can save on time for these readings as they can be a little bit lengthy. So we will go ahead and begin. Feel free to hit that like button, guys. Give me a follow if you haven't already, or comment down below how the reading is resonating for you. I love to get that feedback from you guys. Also, I will be doing an extension of this reading over on Patreon. So if you're interested in joining that community, go ahead and check in the description box below where you'll find the link and join us over there for more exclusive content. All right, Libra, so I am using the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck for your hero within, okay? We're seeing what your archetype, the archetype of your hero within is, and I'm using this deck for that. So, the first card that came out, Libra, as soon as I saw the imagery on this card, I was like, holy cow. This is so Libra. Like, I feel like I'm looking straight into your eyes. And you're going to see here in just a minute. But it says, defend to the end, the worthwhile, Libra. There's your card. It doesn't matter if it's male or female that you're seeing here. It's not gender specific. This is just simply the archetypal energy of this card, okay? So, defend to the end, the worthwhile. So, first and foremost, this card breaks down to a 5 because it's originally the number 23. So when we break that down, it comes to a 5, which signifies great change, okay? And when I read the words, defend to the end, obviously I think of you, Libra, being the sign of justice, right? The scales of balance. You bring forth the balancing of scales. I feel like you're the type of energy that's like the advocate for people, right? You are like the first one to stand up for what is right, what is morally right, right? Okay, so we're going to read from the book, obviously, on this card and get the message from the book because I do love the descriptions. I feel like there's so much information in these, so I am excited to read it to you, Libra. So bear with me. It can be a little bit long, but we'll get through it, and then we'll go ahead and I'll show you your tarot cards that came out. Okay, so we've got defend to the end, the worthwhile. Beneath the illusions, pretty as they may seem, you know what is real. Beneath the lies, sweet though they may sound, you know what is worthwhile. All that is genuinely and truly essential for the heart to throb with life is worthwhile. Anything that dulls it or suffocates its vibrant aliveness must be questioned, challenged, and more than likely cast aside, for the heart is our key to living an authentic life. What is there once that is compromised? Without a foundation of truth, we are to be forever lost in confusion, doubt, or despair. You are a sacred warrior, a defender of the heart. You have cried genuine tears of your own grief and also the grief of the world. You have raged at injustice and oppression in your own life and in the world. You have felt the need to protect the presence of love, for whilst it is exceptionally powerful, it can too easily be smothered under lies and fear. The sacred warrior must not heed the dangerous voices that say, "Oh, stop being so sensitive. Stop making such a big deal out of things." Love is the biggest deal there is. What else is worth being so sensitive about? The sacred warrior is vigilant that the presence of love is not chipped away by fear, criticism, doubts, or untruths. Even if others find the unflinching honesty of your feelings difficult to handle, even if those feelings are expressed with gentleness and compassion, the sacred warrior honors, honors the task of being more faithful to love than to anything else. This includes the fear of loss. Actually, it includes the fear of anything at all. This oracle brings guidance to honor even the smallest steps in your path of the sacred warrior. They are no less important than the more noticeable or dramatic actions on the path. One single misstep can begin a landslide of great devastation. Being vigilant with what is meaningful and what is truthful, even in the smallest and seemingly most insignificant ways, strengthens the sacred warrior and prevents darkness from gaining a stronghold from the inside. That darkness will be intelligent and sneaky. It will tell you that it doesn't matter, that this one time you can forget what you promised, that you are just one person and that you can't make a difference anyway. That darkness will lure you into sleepy ambivalence and dull your light if you allow it to. The sacred warrior within will fight with love and honor to be true to what has meaning, and never ever allow it to be cast aside, even if it seems easier in the moment. The sacred warrior finds joy and humor in life to prevent the seriousness of the task from stifling the heart that just wants to live and be free. That joy brings strength to the warrior and an expanded, relaxed awareness that can sense the presence of fear, whether it is masked as anger, hate, or doubt, and immediately respond to it with fierce compassion. The sacred warrior will not allow fear to gain a stronghold within the heart. This oracle has special guidance for you. You are being asked to stay strong and stand your ground. This might be in a big emotional journey that feels like the fight of your life. It might be in a matter that does not seem to hold much importance at all. Perhaps, for example, you are contemplating an idea that you feel could be something, but those around you declare it is nothing much, too impractical, too little, or too much. However, what is happening or soon will be happening is worthwhile. So hold tight. Ask for help. Stay true to the sacred warrior of love that you are and defend to the end all that is worthwhile. All right, Libra. Wow, that's got some powerful message. I feel like so strongly what it's saying here, Libra, is, especially towards the end of that message, you may have an idea, right? Something that you're thinking of doing, something you're holding on to, something you hold close to something you hold close to your heart. Maybe you've already started working on that thing, and you feel like, maybe you're feeling like just the people around you aren't supportive of it, or just don't see it the way you do, right? They don't see it as clearly as you do. And so in that, you can find yourself frustrated, right? Maybe you can get frustrated because you see something and you see the glory in it. You see the beauty in it. You see how amazing it can be. And the fact that other people can't see that or appreciate it is frustrating for you. I'm not quite sure why. I can share this with you, Libra. Before I started your reading, I experienced something similar to that, right? whenever I have to sit down and record these messages, I have to do it without interruption, right? And you know, sometimes people will like text me or call me or interrupt me, especially the people closest to me. For example, my children or my family, right? They'll text me when they know I'm in recording. Like, I'll even tell them beforehand, like, hey, I'm about to start recording. I'll get back to you in a little while, you know? So it's like every day I have set up this routine for myself, right? And in those hours that I want to be working on this stuff, I'm envisioning it to where I'm not having any interruptions. I can just sit down and focus on my work, right? But I'm finding that people are not yet understanding that, right? They're not comprehending that I'm not available to come take care of your situation right now. I'm only available for me. So that frustrates me, right? It gets on my nerves, especially when it happens a lot, when it's happening regularly. So it gets frustrating because they're not understanding that the importance of what I'm working on. And it's not their fault that they're not understanding it. It's not my fault that they're not understanding it. But it's just like, I'm not frustrated at them, I'm frustrated at the interruption itself, right? Does that make sense? So it's like something like that seems to be happening for you here, Libra. And at first, when all this was happening, before I sat down to start recording your message, I thought it was like strictly my energy, until I like cleared myself, I smudged, I saged, I meditated, like I regrouped, gathered myself, and started over, right? Started your recording, and then the cards that come out after this first one are showing me even more so that this might also be something you're working through here, Libra. Okay? So I'll go ahead and dive into your messages. With the first tarot cards out, this is going to be the beginning, the middle, and the most likely outcome of your story here, your storyline. Okay? So Libra, again, I feel like there's something you are holding on to. There's something you're sitting on, right? It's something that it's called you from your heart. It's something you're emotionally attached to. It's something that, like I said, like you feel called to do this thing. And right now you're like in a place of being grateful that you're here, right? You're grateful that you have this opportunity. You're grateful that for all the blessings that have come in for you. But Nine of Cups is strongly talking about a space of gratitude, but also appreciating how far you've come. You know, a Nine of Cups is also like an emotional maturity, right? You've had to also learn, or you are still learning, not to let the emotional self like be the leader here, but let them be, not ignore them either, right? Like, so anyways, see how he's sitting here with his arms crossed, like almost like in a protective stance even, I'm feeling like, because when someone's got their arms crossed in front of them, they're typically like closed off, right? Like they're not open, you know, to receive something. So like, I feel like you're kind of sitting in this space where you're like, I know what I have, right? Like, I know what I'm working on is worth something. I see the value in it. I see the value in where I'm at right now. I see the value in what I'm doing. But also kind of being like super protective of it, right? Like super defensive over it too. Because we have Page of Swords in the reverse that came out next. This can be like I was saying, like a defensive type of energy. It's almost like guarding something even too, like protecting something, you know? You're defending something to the end because it is so meaningful to you, but there's a lesson in this. There's something that the hero within you is trying to show you with it, okay? Because there is something you're working through here. How do I explain that? Like, if you want to be the advocate of something, you want to, like, it's like having something you strongly believe in, right? When you believe in something so strongly, you don't necessarily project that belief onto other people. That's not right, right? Like, that's not ethically right, because you're forcing something onto someone versus allowing them their own free will, free choice, right? You can share something with someone and you can be enthusiastic about it and you can feel so beautiful about it, right? But the person listening doesn't necessarily have to share those same feelings with you. So there's something in that. It's like yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. Okay, so whenever you get this feeling of like you have to defend this, it has to be defended. Maybe like, oh man. Maybe growing up, Libra, you had this mentality that in order to like have anything, you have to work really hard for it, right? Or you've experienced that, right? Like anytime you've gotten some type of accomplishment, right? Like maybe it wasn't recognized by other people, or maybe it wasn't appreciated, or maybe you yourself would feel unappreciated, underappreciated, right? Or like taken advantage of. Like those type of energies are what I'm feeling with this. So it's like you've had to work through that over your life. Maybe you witnessed like a lot of like injustices, and maybe you felt like you had to be the defender over others, over people, over yourself even, right? So it's like a pattern that you go through, and it's a hero. Like the hero within you is this sacred warrior, but it's not the warrior that is driven by ego, right? It's a warrior that's driven by heart, by your heart, right? So then this hero within you says, hey, like, let's come back to the heart for a minute. You're sitting in cups. You're sitting in cups, but you're kind of going back and forth between head and heart with cups and swords, right? So like this space of being grateful, or this space of defending, or like protecting, like I almost feel like you're super protective over something, Libra. So then the hero within says, hey, psst, psst, listen, I'm talking to you, right? It tries to get your attention. Because she's got an owl like up on top of her head. So I feel like it's trying to get your attention. See how she's crying, these tears of darkness, like these dark tears here. So it's like that pessimistic almost type energy, like bleeding out, like pulling it out. She's crying it out, purging it out. So your hero within is wanting you to purge that out and go off towards something that the heart is calling for you, with the 8 of Cups in the center of your story. Your heart is telling you there's something out there, right? There's something out there for you, Libra. Yes, there's definitely a big cup waiting for you, coming towards you, right? But with the 8, an 8 is also a balanced energy, right? I think of the infinity symbol, and the flow of energy through an infinity symbol is ever flowing, ever moving. There's no stops, right? There's no interruptions or breaks. So like staying in that space of gratitude, like trying to keep yourself in that space of gratitude as you do go towards it, as you do work towards it, and keep yourself away from that negative type of thinking that something, you're going to be wronged in some way, or something's going to be taken from you, or you're going to lose out on something, or like if you're like, I don't know, like timing is coming to mind. Like if there's like something you're working on and you think, you know, like I was saying before with my schedule, like in this time, I want to be able to sit down and do these things with no interruptions. Well, sometimes Spirit has a different plan. Sometimes there's an interruption for a reason. Sometimes maybe you need this interruption because you're going to go and intervene when somebody else is going to save them from something. You know, does that make sense? So going towards the things that are calling your heart, but closing your eyes to the fears, the illusions. Then we got King of Pentacles up next. So King of Pentacles is like a successful leader, like entrepreneurial type energy, a wise person, a person who understands how to apply both logic and heart, right? Head and heart. You can like have compassion for others, have compassion for yourself, and still be this great protector, right? I like, it's like, yes, you can protect, but you don't necessarily have to be this hard, harsh protector. You can be this compassionate, open, like, does that make sense? Protector of, it's also like you're going towards the thing, like this, whatever this is, this idea, this creative thing, whatever this is that you're going towards, whether you're already working on it or you're feeling the call, it's towards like financial success. Even if it's in a career, you know, or if you're thinking of taking like a passion project and turning it into something you're doing for a living, like taking a hobby and turning it into something you do for a living, like something that provides you stability, you know, that's what you're going towards. And then it's like once you come out of this defensive space, this space of like frustration or like sharpness or like a stern, strict energy, it's like you have a wake-up call. You go through an awakening, right? A shift. Like self-realization is happening. You start to see things, right? Okay, so Libra, I feel like with you guys, like you guys are so analytical. Like you can see both sides of the spectrum in everything, in every situation. You can see the polarity in everything. You've probably ran through your mind every possible outcome, every possible hiccup, every possible thing that could happen, right? So like you're coming out of that space where you're just staying so analytical. How do I explain it? Like being more in the flow, yes. Having firm boundaries, yes. Like, okay, I'm setting boundaries for myself that when I'm working on this project or when I'm doing this, when I'm putting my energy into this, I'm not going to allow like interruptions to interfere with the work I'm doing, but I'm also not going to allow interruptions to interfere with my emotional self either, right? So if there is a distraction or disruption, or if people around you aren't appreciating your work or your thing, what you're doing, what you're putting your energy into, you're not letting it bother you. It doesn't bother you because you realize like you don't need validation from other people. You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Like it's just you, right? Like it's just you and God, Libra. You and divine, you and universe, whatever you want to call it. That's all it is, and that's all that matters. And it's going to happen as it's meant to happen. So if you're getting worked up or you're getting yourself frustrated, like come into that space of realization. Realize how you're blocking yourself. You know, how you're creating these, how you can possibly also be creating these interruptions, these disruptions. Is there something in the back of your mind that's telling you like that it's not going to flow smoothly, or it's not going to be successful, or like what's going on there, right? And I feel like your hero within every time like tries to come in and say like, hey, yes, you're this sacred warrior. Yes, you are going in the right direction. Yes, this is what you're meant to do. But let's ease up a little bit on being so fierce about it. Let's ease up a little bit on being so determined. You know what I mean? Like I was saying, like you got 6 of Wands reversed with the Magician reversed after the Judgment. So to me, it's saying like, you don't need that external validation, Libra. You don't. And so, you know, life is that way, unfortunately. A lot of times, like, people don't get it. They don't get it, right? And that can be very frustrating. I totally understand. But what it's teaching you is like how to stay true to your morals, right? Like still treating others the way you want to be treated in this process. And like also too, like leaving things up to karma. Like if changes come about, then just let it flow, right? Like your wishes are coming true because we have at the bottom of the deck the Star here. Your wishes are being granted, Libra. The universe is definitely co-creating with you here. See, underneath that, we got 9 of Swords and Temperance. So I feel... and then we got 5 of Swords following that, right? 5 of Pentacles underneath that. High Priestess underneath that. Like, it just keeps going and going. It doesn't stop. So I feel like, okay, anxiety, stress, worry, whatever this fear is, like, when you're experiencing this anxiety... that's what's needing to be cut out. Because you're fighting with others, right? Like, you're winning the battles. You are winning the battle, but it's almost like, to what extent, right? To what extent? Where can you have more patience, Libra? I feel like especially for other people, you're really called to have a little more patience for people, even in your fight for what's right and just and fair, right? So let's see where this is taking you, Libra. We're going to pull from this Enchanted Oracle map and see where this hero is taking you. I feel like it's really towards something that is wish fulfillment. It is like a big thing for you. It is successful. It's going to bring you financial success and freedom. But the hero within really wants you to have some type of judgment call. It wants you to resurrect that compassion you had when the idea first came in. There is a guardian angel with you too, Libra. You are protected. You are like excuse me. You are connected to this divine spirit, this angel, this guardian angel. But there's some fears and illusions you're working through. So where's this bringing Libra to, Spirit? Where's this hero within bringing them to? Dry desert. Dry desert. I don't think I've ever pulled this card. I want to see what... We're going to read from the book, obviously, on what it means, but... Dry desert. It almost is feeling like some type of location. Land maybe, or somewhere like I'm seeing like a construction site, like maybe you're wanting to build something. I don't know. Let's read and see. 31. Dig deep for inspiration and truth. Now is the time to become resilient and adaptable. True that, because if you're walking through a dry desert, that's pretty tough. And you could feel like that, Libra. Okay, so is your life presenting you with opportunities that seem to yield nothing? Have your ideas dried up? Does it feel like you're on an endless journey through a dry, hot, lifeless desert? This card reminds you that there are times when you're meant to become resilient as you journey through harsher circumstances. You're being required to conserve your energy until after consistent effort you reach the oasis you're searching for. So, okay, so remember how I was saying, like in the beginning of my reading, or in the beginning of the reading, my energy today was feeling like, okay, I want to sit down and do this, but there's these interruptions, there's these distractions happening. So it's like slowing me down, right? So that could be happening for you too. Like you feel like it slows you down. But in those moments that you're slowing down, it's meant to for you to conserve energy, right? So consider the creatures that live in these conditions. They have adapted to thrive in spite of the outer environment. In a desert, water, essential for life, can be found deep underground. Go deep within yourself now. Find your truth there. Let spirit sustain you while you locate the real source. Whatever it is you're asking about will not be found in the conditions you're in until you move past the surface of things and choose to do the real work and discover the answers deep within you. This may not seem like the most productive time, but looks are deceiving. This is a more important place to find what's truly right for you. Ooh, yeah, Libra. It could be too that it's these little situations that are irritating you, agitating you, testing you, challenging you. You know, it could just be that they're tests from the universe even too, to get you to like truly like admit to yourself that you're doing this thing. Like this is what you want and this is what you're doing, right? Proving that to yourself more than anybody. So that is all I have for you, Libra. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Feel free to hit that like button, give me a follow if you haven't already, or comment down below how the reading has resonated. If you're interested in the extended reading, we're going to hop over to Patreon and do that now. So click on that link in the description box below and you can join us in that community over there. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.